to this Sports Showcase event on Harford TV. I'm Don Morrison. We're happy to be at Edgewood High School. It's homecoming night for the Rams. Edgewood taking on Milton Wright in what could be a whale of a football game. Bob McCone, you've got the 5-1 Mustangs winning 4 in a row against the 6-0 Edgewood Rams, both in the Tidings division. I mean, it is a beautiful night for football. What else could you want?
You can't want anything more than what we're going to see tonight, Don. What a fantastic game we have on board here. The winner of this will take, will step up and be the leader in the Tidings.
Looks like we're going to get ready to honor our country with our national anthem, so we'll pause here a moment as we do that on homecoming night at Edgewood High School.
To visit Grace's classes at Deerfield Elementary School.
Now I understand they're going to be honoring Joe Murecki, the late Joe Murecki, who passed away about a month ago. Joe, class of 1977, one of the great Edgewood High alum, who's done so much for this school in his postgraduate time. His kids, Gracie and Emily here, Kelly, his wife here. So a moment of silence coming up in memory of Joe Murecki.
A loyal Edgewood alum and a loving husband, father, coach, and friend, celebrating his enduring legacy. Thank you.
That's Rob Tucker, the PA announcer here at Edgewood, theater teacher, and just doing a great job sitting in as we now believe we are ready now to honor our country with our national anthem. Great job by Mr. Evan Sheets and the Edgewood High School Marching Ram Band on homecoming night here at Edgewood. Bob, you look at these two teams, again, Edgewood 6-0, Milton Wright 5-1. 3 common opponents, both blew out the Tech and Haverty Grace. Edgewood beat Perryville 19-13. Milton Wright lost to Perryville 13-9. So you like to do comparison team scores, you know, before the game is played. Not a whole lot you can gain by looking at those scores.
No, not really. And when a team only beats a team by 4 points or loses by, you know, the same amount, those games could have gone either way at that particular time. So I'm looking forward to a fantastic game between the two teams who are currently number 1 in their region in the state of Maryland.
Yep.
Milton Wright at the 2A level and Edgewood at the 3A level. Milton's right number 4 in the state. Edgewood's number 5 in the state 3A. So, you know.
And Bob, the coaches, what a
fantastic
story. Ken Brinkman, in his 31st year of coaching in Harford County, his first year as head coach of the Edgewood Rams after being at John Carroll and North Harford in previous years, you know, in his turns. Brian Hansroth, in his 14th year, coaching his first year at Milton as a head coach, and Bob, he teaches at Edgewood.
Absolutely. So, I mean, it's a big game for him because when he goes to class tomorrow, or well, it won't be tomorrow, but Monday when school is back in session, you know, if Edgewood beats them, you know every student in the place is going in his classes are going to give him static, and if he wins, he has to keep everything under control because he doesn't want to upset his students who he loves.
You're looking at the coin toss that just occurred, and it's won by the C. Milton Wright Mustangs, dressed in the white visiting uniforms, going from left to right. Edgewood in the all red, going from right to left, just about ready for this great high school football game. Bob, if it gets any better than the game we had at Harvard last week, which went into overtime, I don't know how it's going to get any better, but I'm really looking forward to it.
Well, I think this game is going to be awesome because the speed of Edgewood is impressive. The bulk and the physicalness of C. Milton Wright is impressive. And so, it's going to be speed against strength, and we're going to see who wears down who.
Yeah, C. Milton Wright in its last 2 games, Bob, has won by a score of 92-0. I don't care who you're playing, if the competition's not on the top level. Still, when you win 92-0, you've done something right in those 2 games.
Well, yes, I would say that. On the other hand, depending on the football teams you're playing, sometimes it's hard to keep a score down.
Yeah.
If you hand the football off to a kid on a dive play, and the kid goes 70 yards because nobody's close to tackle him, you can't have the kid fall down.
Here we are, just ready to kick off now. The Edgewood Rams putting the ball in play in those all-red uniforms with the really neat ram horns on the helmet. It's kind of a new touch, I think.
It is.
Here we go. And we're underway. It's a high end-over-end kick coming down at about the 20-yard line. Returned by C. Milton Wright up to the 30, past the 30 to the 35. And that's where we'll put the ball in play. First down and 10. The ball at the 37-yard line.
27, Ryan Stem, brought down by the Rams.
So who do we have on offense now, Don, coming out here?
For the C. Milton Wright Mustangs, they're going to begin with their wide receivers. Will be Loudon Rockhill, number 14, 12, Carmine Riggins, I should say. Number 18, London Melnick, and number 7, Brandon Tolson. Quarterback is Jack Sable, a junior. Running back is Ryan Stem. He's a senior. We'll give you that line here as soon as this first play occurs. First down and 10. Handoff off the left side. Hit in the backfield. No gain on that first down play.
And that's the Edgewood speed coming up,
And up to 27, Ryan
filling the
Stem,
middle,
stopped by
making
the
them
Rams.
pop out, and then the speed just attacking them and stopping them.
Line of scrimmage, no
Ryan
gain.
Stem, number 27, the running back for C. Milton Wright, stopped for no gain. 299 yards on the season, 4.0 and 2 touchdowns coming in. Second down and 10.
That's not as high as his grade point average, I understand.
No. It's great. You're right. I hope not.
No, 4.0.
Well, but you can go to 4.5 these days, Bob. It's a different
and I
thing.
think that's the number he's at.
It's a different world. Here we go. Second down and 10. Handoff off the right side again. No gain. That Edgewood
And up 27 again.
looks like Landon Lockett, maybe Kareem Wallace coming in and making the stop. Second down, third down now. No gain on the play. Third and about 9.5.
And 9.
Lineman for C. Milton Wright, number 51, Cameron Stepp. 56 is Robert Dutton. George Salinas, number 55, is a senior. Andrew Cavanaugh, the right guard, number 52. And 53 is Owen Whitmore. Third down, Bob. Third and 9. Not where you want to be.
No, this is C. Milton wants to really shove the ball down their throats if they could help it, but now they've got to throw the football.
Sable being rushed, avoids the tackle, going to run with it, and he slides. He crossed the 40-yard line short of the first down.
Yeah.
It's going to be a fourth down and about 5.
Quarterback Jack Sable scrambles for about 5 yards.
Sable has 109 yards on the season, scrambling 5.7 yards. He scored 3 touchdowns running. He's also thrown for 9.
5 yards to go.
Looks
Fourth
like
down.
it'll bring up a punting situation for C. Milton Wright.
Well, Edgewood did their job. They stopped them on the first series now, and now it'll be the physicalness of C. Milton Wright trying to stop the speed from the defensive standpoint for them.
Good snap. High end over end
Nice
kick. No, it's
punts.
sort of a floating kick coming down at the 20. It'll drop down at about the 15-yard line. Bob,
Nice.
that's exactly what you want. Punt the ball and get no return.
Absolutely, that was an excellent punt.
Looked like the punt was
Nice
by number
roll.
6, Braxton Marchand. So 3 and out for C. Milton Wright. Edgewood will take over on its own. Going to put it down at about the 17 with 9:31 left here in the first period.
Well, now it's the Robinson brothers for Edgewood High School, Don.
Yeah, Michael, the quarterback, headed for Merrimack College. Great two-way runner and passer. His brother, the sophomore Malachi Robinson, number 3, the flanker back. Throw going to the far side, complete.
Nice,
Very little gain.
nice.
Good job by C. Milton coming up to make the stop.
Very nice play. They fought off the 2 blocks by the wideouts and stepped up for the loss.
Looked like Shamari Whitmore, the receiver on the play. So a loss of maybe 4, Bob, on that play.
Yeah.
Back to inside the 15 to about the 14.
Yeah, now we have the trips to this side and the 1 wide to the short side.
Malachi Robinson, we mentioned, number 3, the sophomore. His older brother, the quarterback, number 2, keeping the ball. Robinson up the middle, gains it back to the yardage they lost. Mustangs there to greet him. Cameron Stepp, Austin Waiter.
Cameron Stepp, he's committed to the University of Pennsylvania, Don. He's a young man with an incredibly high GPA and is taking the best courses in the school and obviously has the world in front of him.
5.5 tackles for loss out of his 30 tackles. Also has 2 sacks.
Yeah, he's number 51 out there, people, so.
And now Edgewood, 3rd down, Bob. They're 3rd and 12. Jaden Harvin, number 4, the senior tailback, along with quarterback Michael Robinson. Flag goes down. Let's see what that's all about.
Well, the quarterbacks now are taught now it's a clap if they want the guys to jump offside instead of inflection in the voice. So he clapped like he wanted to snap, and number 5 jumped offside for C. Milton.
Yeah, Matt Sampson, the linebacker.
Yeah.
By the way, that's Brian Watson, the referee that marches off the 5. Still 3rd down, and about 7. Pass up the middle, complete. Got the 1st down and more down that right sideline. Finally taken out of bounds. That's Jaden Harvin. Jaden Harvin, the running back on that screen pass, Bob, picked up about 18 yards.
Yeah, nice inside screen. They let the 2 inside guys come after the quarterback. He just backed up, dumped it off, and there they went.
1st down and 10, the first down of the game. The ball at the 42, 43-yard line.
You know, Don, speaking of people who have committed to schools, number 9, Michael Holcomb, he's a senior. He's committed to Temple University in Philadelphia.
Hit behind the line of scrimmage. It's Harvin taken down. No checking, not Harvin, but it was number 1 for the Edgewood Rams. And that's Kion Greenwood. Stop for no gain. 2nd down now, 2nd and 10. All resting about at the 43-yard line. Edgewood stopped C. Milton Wright on downs, forced the punt, picked up a big 1st down on 3rd down.
The thing that's been impressive so far is both teams' defense. Except for that 18-yard run, both have been...
Great completion by Robinson.
Both have been very, very good to this point.
Completion to Dreyon Goldsboro, the junior. He's had 9 catches coming in the game, short of the 1st down. It's going to be 3rd down, 3rd and about 6. Drive started back at the 17. Clock running inside 6 minutes and 30 seconds in the first period.
C. Milton's playing looks like a 4-3.
Riding the ball carrier right up the middle and releasing it to no gain. Boy, great job by that Mustang defense. Give credit to Austin Waiter and Cameron Stepp and Michael Holcomb and Abby Schaudenherry, the starting defensive line. That'll bring up a 4th down. 4th down, Bob, and about 5. We saw the Harvard Grace coach go for it last week, and the Aberdeen coach, but they're going to punt it away.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, you're right. They're back in deep punt
After last
formation.
week, Don, I'll say we'll see. There
Snap.
it goes.
And he will punt it away. It's a high, wobbly kick. Comes down and dies at about the 30-yard line, inside the 30 at the 29.
Yeah, it looks like the concern here is field position. They don't want to give, either team doesn't want to give the other a short field. So,
and Bob, you think about high-scoring offenses, and you're expecting to see lots of points on the board. But so far, you made the point. The defenses, both of them, have stepped up big.
well, what did you say down before the game? See, Milton has scored 92 points in their last 2 games. You know, it's not happening today.
Yeah.
Edgewood's defense is too quick, too well coached, too disciplines.
Here's C. Milton taking over on their own 29-yard line. Handoff inside. Good hole off that right side.
It's a nice run right there.
Picks up about 5 up to the 35-yard line. Gain of about 6 on first down.
Yeah.
Edgewood player slow to get up.
Timeout for an injured player on the field.
Looks like number 11, DeAndre Green, slow to get up.
Well, we have an injury on the field. Oh, never mind.
Yeah.
Nope.
Looks like the DeAndre Green. Looks like number 9. It would be well, let's let him address the issue. It looked like he just went down on a knee and then sort of collapsed. Great coaching staffs by both teams, Bob.
Yeah, well, that gives me a chance to talk about. Before the game, I was talking to Coach Brinkman. I saw him, and I asked him to tell me about a player that personifies Edgewood football. And he pointed to number 90, James Tyler, and he said, Bob, he said, this young man does anything the program needs him to do. If it's clean the field after practice, if it's a jump in and play defense at practice, if it's a jump in and play offense at practice, this man, he is Mr. Edgewood football. And we're so glad that we have him. Doesn't get to play as much as we love to play him. And so he gives us everything every day, and we can't ask for more.
Boy, that's what you look for, again, with a player who's not going to play a lot. Boy, look at the Edgewood team coming out to greet Kareem Wallace as he walks off the field under his own power. And we always like to say and give credit to the medical staff here on hand to come out and address any issue that occurs.
Well, this high school, Don, as you know, has had tremendous medical staffs way back to Doc McShane.
And Doc Linder, remember Doc Linder?
Doc Linder, and yes.
Yeah. Volunteers.
The doctors have given back to this high school for 60, 70 years.
Second down and about 5. Jack Sable, number 11, in the deep formation behind him. Looking to throw, being rushed, gets it off, has a man deep. It's going to be caught down at the 30-yard line. Taken down there. It's a catch by Brandon Bubba Tolson. He had 17 catches coming in.
He laid that right in his hands, Don.
Beautiful.
I mean, he couldn't have handed it to him any better than where he put that football.
And Tolson running a great route, picks up a big chunk of about 50 yards. And here you'll see the replay.
Yeah, he made that little move, and he was gone.
Little half fake. Well, you're right, Bob. Right on his fingertips, and he pulls it in, does Tolson.
Great throw.
Making the tackle was Malachi Robinson, but not until about a 50-yard gain. Down to the 25. 3-play drive started back at the 29. Handoff. Stem. Stem is going to be stopped before he gets to the line of scrimmage. They stand him up and take him down.
And the right side of that Edgewood defense just pushed the offense back, jammed up the hole, and he had nowhere to go. And then the rest of the Edgewood got there and finished it.
Landon Lockett, those red shirts just sort of snowed him under. Can you get snowed under with a red shirt? Perhaps not.
Obviously, in that case, you can.
Oh. Second down and about 12. It's going to be a loss of 2 on the play.
Now, C. Milton Wright also has a very good field goal kicker. So keep that in mind as we get close to the 4th down situation.
Rolling this way, has a man, has it complete. Going to be hit and taken down. Nice little short completion. I think that's Tolson again.
Yeah, maybe 3 yards, 4 yards maybe. Beyond the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, checking not Tolson that time, but number 8, Judd LeCase. Judd, a sophomore. Third down and a long 5. Clock winding down. About the 3-minute mark here left in the first period. Mustang's second possession of the game.
Well, there's 2 wide receivers out there for C. Milton. Edgewood's got to send somebody else out there to play.
Whistle blows.
Got a flag.
Play stop before it started. Let's see what the flag is all about.
Somebody lined up offside.
Brian Watson calling in his team. Chris Johnson, Robert Hackett, Michael Flosser, Jordan Wright, and Matt Kane. Papa, I haven't seen a walk-off, have you?
No, I haven't seen anything. It's like a do-over.
Yeah. I said, okay, now let's do it again. The ball at the 21-yard line. Got to get down near the 16 for a first down. Sable, fake, throwing, man in the middle, off the fingertips of Tolson. Just maybe a little bit behind him. He had his man beaten.
It was. He was wide open, too.
Incomplete. It will bring up a fourth down.
Looks like a field goal team coming out here.
This would be a field goal of about 35 yards.
Well, let's see if they're going to kick a field goal or if they're going to go for it.
Ball at the 20.
There's a timeout on the field.
Yeah, ball at the 22. That would make it the kick of about 30 yards if they do kick the ball.
Plus the 10 yards of the end zone.
Yeah, about 40 yards. So timeout as Brian Hansrode and his staff are going to talk it over. Speaking of his staff, Bob, great staffs, and you know that. You've got to have great assistants. Chris Matlack, Rick Keach, Connor Davis, and Matt Grews are the assistant coaches. That name, Rick Keach, sounds familiar. Ray Keach, his late great dad, who was the superintendent back in the 1990s in Harford County. Rick has stayed on and taught at C. Milton right now for, gosh, going on 30 years.
Oh, nice legacy, huh?
Hard to believe that Rick Keach, when I knew him, was just a young lad who was just employed at C. Milton Wright. And here you will see this replay. Big rush, gets it off. Just a little bit behind, maybe a little tall.
And he jumped a little early.
Tolson unable to bring it in. That's one that he'll look back and say, hey, I could have had that one.
Now it's the field goal attempt, Don.
Yep.
And it's going to be 37 yards.
37 yards. And
yep, that's in his range.
See, now they're going to pick it up and look like a number of
timeout, C. Milton.
Matt Sampson. Timeout. Now they're going to think about it again. The key play of the ball game here. Fourth down and about 5.
You know, that's twice they've gotten beyond the Edgewood defenders. One, they caught the pass down to the 18, and the second one, it was dropped in the end zone.
That Edgewood defense, Ola Amade, Isaiah Deo, Landon Lockett, and Kareem Wallace across the front. Linebackers Maurice Butler, Khalil Bryce, and Jarrell Tyler. In the deep defensive backfield, Jaden Reed Jones, Malachi Robinson, Kion Greenwood, and Adrian Wright.
Well, Edgewood can't let them keep sneaking behind them or it's going to hurt them. They're going to pay a price.
Ball at the 22-yard line. They've got to get down to the 15, just short of the 15.
Well, now we've got to, now we're going for it.
Yep.
Made another change.
Sable in the pistol formation.
Maybe try to jump them offside here.
Nope, he's going to go with it. Looking down the middle, has a man open, but overshoots him.
Good coverage on that play.
It was. Looking for a flag, he doesn't get it. It was Landon Melnick, number 18, the senior, that universal throw the flag, the referees say no, and so Edgewood will take over, stopping C. Milton Wright on downs at the 22-yard line.
They're ready to start their drive from the 21-yard line.
Adrian Wright, number 9.
He had the coverage on the play.
Well, here come the Rams now on their third possession of the game, actually their second possession. Last time they got 6 plays, got a first down, but had to punt the ball away. Robinson shakes one tackle, doesn't shake the second one, caught in the backfield.
Well, C. Milton brought some people that time, and they filled the holes and got there early and made Robinson have to really dance to get back. No gain.
Bob, you mentioned Cameron Stepp, the young man headed for Pennsylvania. Big kid, 30 tackles, 5.5 tackles for loss, 2 sacks. That big number 51, keep your eye on him. He plays the left tackle defensive position. London Lockett, the center for Edgewood. Handoff right up the middle. Again, very little gain. Bring up a third down.
C. Milton Wright defense is playing very, very well tonight.
Third down, about 8.
They might want to, Edgewood may want to fake some stuff into the middle and run a little RPO and take it outside and pitch it to one of those backs, or the quarterback keep it.
Edgewood does not huddle, so they have time to come to the line and decide the play they want to run. Big third down play, 3rd and 8. Handoff, hit and held. Stop, that's Harvin, number 4. Tackle made by 27, Ryan Stem. 33 tackles, 2 interceptions on the year. That brings up another 4th down. Rams will have to punt it away. So, Bob, we expected to see a shootout, lots of wild scoring so far. It has been all defense.
Yeah, the defenses are very, very good so far.
Yeah. 2 very well-matched teams, well-coached teams. Homecoming night at Edgewood.
So far, when C. Milton has brought people on defense, they've stopped the play.
High spiraling kick. Taken in by Bubba Tolson. Going to be hit and held right there at the 41. Good play by Edgewood's Drayon Goldsboro. So 3 and out for Edgewood as C. Milton right now gets its 3rd possession. They'll start in good field position at their own 42.
Yeah, it's one of the better field positions they've started well with here. And
yeah, Bob, that one big pass play sort of reversed field positions for the teams.
Yes.
Now they've been playing in Edgewood's territory. First down and 10, the ball at the 42.
Well, they're in their own right now, so, you know, Edgewood's going to have to do something to.
Stem gets the handoff off the left tackle, gets a block, going to be hit and held. Play there just as he hit the hole. Looked like he might pick up good yardage.
The one nice thing defensively is both teams, linebackers and defensive backs, when they come up to make a tackle, they hit you and make the tackle.
Looks like there may be a flag on the play.
It's against Edgewood.
Face mask, a big one against the Edgewood Rams. We saw that tackle and the player go down. Thought maybe he had him by the arm, but apparently got him by the face mask.
Yeah.
Big penalty down inside Edgewood territory, down to about the 41.
Yeah, it's dusk right now, so it's a little bit hard to see some things out there at this point.
25.9 seconds left in the first period. Handoff, Stem, up the middle, has a hole, gets inside the 40 down to about the 35. Tackled by 23, Khalil Bryce, the senior. Bryce, 44 tackles on the year coming in, also has 2 interceptions. Now it looks like, are they going to back C. Milton Wright up? Nope, that's going to be the end of the quarter.
Yeah.
So the quarter comes to end. We are 0-0 at Edgewood High School on homecoming night. There you see, Bob, one of the best-looking Rams I have ever seen. Seriously, that is a handsome Ram. You don't agree?
I'm sure the U's are chasing the Ram any chance they get.
Homecoming night at Edgewood, and you'll get a chance to see all the homecoming banners on the near side fence. So it's homecoming not only for the football team, but for the volleyball team and the soccer team, field hockey team. What else do they play in the winter, in the fall?
Cross country.
Cross country, thank you. Homecoming night at Edgewood. They'll switch fields. They'll be going the opposite directions. Edgewood going from left to right. See Milton Wright with the ball going from right to left.
Well, it's a challenge now. I mean, Edgewood has its hands a little full right here.
Edgewood Rams are 6-0. See Milton Wright 5-1. They're only lost to Perryville in the second game of the year. They've won 4 in a row. The last 2, as we said, by 92-0.
That 15-yard penalty hurt. In this type of game, you can't be giving up territory.
Second down and 5. Stem with the ball off the right side. Waits for his blocker. Picks up about 2 or 3. 3-play drive started back at the 42 for C. Milton. As Bob said, that big 15-yard face mask penalty gave the Mustangs a big boost on this drive.
Yeah.
Cameron Stepp, Robert Dutton, George Salinas, Andrew Cavanaugh, and Owen Whitmore across that front line for C. Milton Wright.
I would think we're in 4-down territory here, Don.
3rd down and about 4. Again, the pistol formation. Jack Sable, the junior quarterback, looking to throw without a fake. Down the middle, has a man incomplete. Great defensive effort on the part of number 9 for Edgewood. That's Adrian Wright. Adrian Wright on him.
Yep.
Didn't hit him too soon. Made a great defensive play.
4th down. Now let's see what Coach Hanrose has for this one.
Coach Brian Hansroth.
All right, are we coming out with the field goal unit now? Now it's a fifth, or it's a
Yeah, well,
it's a 52-yarder?
Yeah.
Unless he's going to punt.
They'll put it down at the 42 if it is a field goal attempt, which would be 52. I don't know what the Harford County record is, but that certainly would be close to it. Nope, it looks like they're going to punt it away.
Okay.
Again, playing that field position game. Oh, it's blocked. Blocked at the 50. The Rams will have the ball unless they fumble it away.
It doesn't matter. They'll still have it, but
unless they touched it and then fumbled it.
Yep, that would be a different story.
Edgewood does get the ball on a big block. I didn't see who got in to block the ball. Maybe we'll get a replay here.
I did not see that either. I was looking at the fumble or the block to see where it was going.
It looked like he maybe took his time a bit, the punter.
A little bit.
Edgewood was able to break through and get the block. Big break for the Edgewood Rams.
Yeah, was their left defensive end, or looked like who came in and
I
don't know who was there.
It came from the left side, no question about it. So Edgewood will take over at the 40-yard line.
We're getting a replay here. Right there.
Still can't see a number. And I think he got the fumble recovery as well.
He did not get that. He tried to get it and did not get it. The second man from Edgewood.
So Edgewood with the ball, keeping it. Robinson. Robinson has a hole around the left side. He picks up 10 on first down.
Well, that's the first time they ran the RPO where the quarterback kept the football. And Robinson has some wheels.
Yeah, you look at his stats. Robinson has some stats, not only in passing, but in rushing. He's got 491 yards, Bob, 6.8 yards per carry, and 10 touchdowns from the quarterback position.
He's really a dual threat quarterback. He's not very big.
Timeout.
He's a tough kid too. I mean, so.
And Coach told you he's going to Merrimack up in New England.
Yes.
Yeah, his brother Malachi.
Is he a sophomore?
No, he's a senior. Malachi is the sophomore. Yeah, Michael is a senior.
Right.
Michael, number 2, and Malachi, number 3. Bob, this brother combination, you've seen it, the coaching that you've done. You know, the Mitchell brothers, I think about, you know, when you have an older brother and a younger brother, what's the dynamic of those two on the same team?
Well, they help each other out.
Bob, excuse me just 1 second. There you see Ken Brinkman talk to his red-shirted Edgewood team and Ryan Hansford talking to his C. Milton Wright team. Go ahead, Bob.
I mean, the older brother usually is the cerebral one, and the second one usually is sometimes a little more athletic, a little more physical, and he's had to compete harder.
Yeah.
You know, to be close. So, but I was the older one, so I don't know about what the younger one had to do.
You were the more cerebral one?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So my family was in real trouble.
There's a pass complete on the flank. Short gain. Mustangs rallying to the ball. Ball completed to Shamari Whitmore. Gain of about 5, maybe 4 on first down.
That just tells you if my brother and I had to put our GPAs together to get a 2.0 to be eligible.
There you go. And they let you do that back in Philly.
In Philly, you didn't have to worry about GPAs. All you had to do was show up. You didn't even have to go to classes. It didn't matter.
Stop it. Second down, 6 yards to go.
Things have changed since then, Don.
Keeping the ball. Robinson. You said it, Robinson, not a huge kid, but boy, he has quickness.
Quick, he's tough. He doesn't mind the physical aspects of the game.
It's going to be a first down. I thought it might be a little short, but the officials say no. He picked it up, first down.
The big pass play for C. Milton Wright gave them the opportunity to get a lead in this game, and Edgewood stopped them. And now the block punt has given Edgewood the opportunity to score in this game, and C. Milton Wright has to answer.
We talk about turnovers being the key to a game like this, and this certainly is one. There, the Geese are flying south. I think that's the way they're headed. Back to throw, looking for a man. It's going to be tipped.
Ooh, that was a nice play.
It was. And the Mustang who got up.
It's hard to see these numbers.
Could have been London Rockwell, number 14. He was in the area.
There was a 2 on his jersey somewhere.
Could be Hansel. It could be Logan Jaski. Somebody got up and knocked that ball away just before it got.
This kid.
Yeah.
That's who it was.
22, Cole Hansel.
Yeah.
The junior defensive back knocking that ball down. That'll bring up a second down and 10. 4-play drive started back at the 40-yard line of C. Milton Wright. Handoff, Harvin off the left side. That's good yardage, down close to the 10.
Yeah, that's about a 7-yard gain.
That little wiggle, Bob.
Yeah, well, it gives them a chance. Well, it's not a 7-yard gain. It's more like a 3-yard gain.
Yeah, but it's down to about the 11. We'll bring up now a third down, third and about 7. Long 6 maybe.
Well, this is definitely 4-down territory unless they'll kick a field goal.
Robinson keeping it around the left side, cuts it back inside. He's close to the first down.
He's at least a yard short right now.
Diving for that last yard or so.
They haven't moved. Okay, now they're moving the chain. Yeah, a little over a yard, a little over.
Yeah. Fourth down.
Maybe 2.
Fourth down and a 2 yards. Now, like you say, Bob, do they have confidence in their field goal kicker, or do they just go ahead and try it?
They look like they're going for it.
Well, if they do and don't get it, you put C. Milton Wright in deep position. So, well, either way.
You're playing the field territory as they've been all game. So
here we go, 4th down and 2. Handoff Harvin. Hit in the line, I'm not sure. Let's see where they spot it.
He didn't make it.
The Mustangs say he didn't. Holding on downs is C. Milton Wright. Great defensive effort.
I don't think you can run inside against C. Milton.
Austin Waiter, number 75, the junior, in on the tackle. Big stop for C. Milton Wright. So the score remains 0-0 as C. Milton Wright will take over. Looks like they're inside the 10. They'll take over at about the 8.
8 minutes, 20 seconds left in the half here. So plenty of time.
But a long way to go, 92 yards to get that score.
Well, C. Milton Wright did their job even though they gave up the block punt, they stopped Edgewood from scoring. And now they've got another opportunity to move the football.
Jack Sable, Ryan Stem. Stem the deep back. Stem with the ball. Nope, kept by Sable. And Sable gets a couple of good yardage up past the 10. Boy, nice fake by Sable that time, Bob.
It was. I mean, he only got a couple yards, but still. Where they were going to tackle him.
Yeah, he put it in the ball carrier's stomach and then took it right back out when he saw the saw the opening.
Yeah, it's about 3 or 4 yard gain now, so that's a positive for C. Milton.
Clock running inside the 8-minute mark, left in the half. Both teams have had their opportunities, but the defenses have come up strong. Block punt, the one turnover we've had so far. In motion, LeCase.
Well, I'm wondering if he's going to throw the football here again. See if he can get somebody behind their defense.
Sable throwing long down the middle, going to be long. Overshoots his man, incomplete.
And I thought that was time to see. He's gotten these guys back behind the defense twice now. So, you know, if you could sneak it right there and change the field.
A good defense by Kion Greenswood. He had that play diagnosed.
He was right on top of that.
Third down now, 3rd and about 7.
You know, both coaches do such a great job of understanding the game and coaching it. I mean, you can see it. One's not really getting an advantage over the other team, and all it takes is might be one breakdown to make the whole difference in this football game.
Here we go, 3rd down and 7.
Or a great play.
Going to throw again, being rushed.
Oh,
he's going to hit and held. Is he in the end zone?
Yeah, that's a question. It's a touchback. It's 2 points for Edgewood.
It is a safety. A safety against the C. Milton Wright Mustangs. And so just like that, it is now 2-0, the lead for the Edgewood High School Rams.
Well, that's not the big thing now. The big thing now is at the 20-yard line. They either have to kick it from the 20 or punt it from the 20.
Here's the replay. Yep. Let's see who makes that tackle. It looked like it might have been LeCase. That's
Number
who
9
it is.
on the backside.
And he fumbles the ball, and luckily it goes all
the end zone.
That could have been a touchdown.
It could have.
For Edgewood. So you've got bad news. The good news is it was not a touchdown, but it was a 2-point safety. Looked like number 8, LeCase.
Yeah, absolutely.
Coming in from his defensive end position.
Yep. I couldn't tell if it was 8 or 9 over
yeah,
there.
you're
but
right.
It
It's Kareem Wallace, number 8, who made that play.
Nice play from the backside.
So a 2-0 lead now as the Edgewood Rams break on top at 7:09 on the tackling the quarterback in the end zone. Again, we mentioned that if you're C. Milton Wright, you count your blessings that ball bounced out of the end zone. It could be 7-0 rather than 2-0.
Yeah, well, now it becomes difficult because, like I said, they have to kick it or punt it. Right, they're going to kick off from the 20.
From the 20, and of course
that's
that
going
means
to give Edgewood great field position.
Yeah.
As long as they hold on to the football.
7 minutes and 9 seconds left. What a break for the Rams.
That wasn't a break. They made the play. I mean,
did.
they made it happen.
Yeah. You could see that Sable tried to avoid the tackle, but ended up being tackled, and again the ball came free and bounced to the end zone.
Yeah, he was running from one man and turned right into the next man.
Here's the kickoff. It's kind of a squibber, scooped up nicely at the 40, at the 35, and down he goes.
Yeah.
That looked like Kion Greenwood, number 1.
Well, now they're just over midfield, so they're in C. Milton Wright territory or right on the 50.
Right at the 50-yard line with plenty of time, leading 2-0. So the Rams will take over 7:03 right at midfield after the safety and the kick.
Yep.
Well, right at the midfield stripe.
Yeah. The lead toe of that ball is right on the yellow line.
Bob, you talked about it, a break in the game, one play. That could be the big play that at least here early in the game, early in the first half, actually.
Well, it's changed the momentum here. I think Edgewood moved.
Whistle blows.
Whistle before the snap.
Looked like it's going to be a possession foul against the Rams. Offside now.
Oh, it was offside.
Against the Mustangs.
Offside,
Wow.
Mustangs.
Edgewood moved, but not until it looked like the Mustangs had broken the
He
plane.
must have snuck under there. Well, it's starting to get dark now, so the lights will start to come into play better.
Yeah, this game started at a weird time, 6 o'clock rather than 7. You know, a little different. Maybe the players, you know, have to adjust to that kind of starting time.
Well, it's misty at that time. You know, there's a haze there rather than bright light.
Harvin,
oh, what a move.
What a spin by Harvin. He looked like he was going to be tackled for a loss. He spun and went right down for the first down. Jaden Harvin, 390 yards, 5.7 yards per carry. 2 TDs coming in. And it is a first down, 1st and 10, the ball at the 40. Edgewood 6-0. 3-0 in their division. Handoff, Harvin, off the right side.
Do we know who's leading the other divisions?
No, I don't have that information right now. It looked like Michael Holcomb, number 9, making the stop. The good thing, they're in the tidings division, both of these teams, but they are in different class. So one's 2A, C. Milton, Edgewood 3A, so they both could go to the state playoffs, regardless of what happens.
It's amazing. C. Milton used to be a 4A school. It used to be a huge school.
And Edgewood was a 1A.
Yeah.
It's just the way the student populations have changed over the years.
Yeah.
Bel Air is struggling to be a 2A school.
And they were a
huge school at one time.
Yeah.
Havre de Grace, Joppatown, Tech, all 1A. Patterson Mill also 1A. 2nd down, 9. Keeping it Robinson.
There it is.
Robinson going to be hit at about the 35.
Mike Robinson, quarterback keeper.
That first handoff freezes the inside defenders from C. Milton, and when Robinson keeps it, it gives him an opportunity to have a little bit of daylight to run to, and then C. Milton fills it in after about 5 yards, but 5 yards is good for Edgewood.
3rd down and just about 5. Bob, you see that score 2-0, you think, I thought we were playing football, not baseball. But 2-0, yeah. That's safety. Big play by Edgewood.
Yeah.
Put a star beside the name, Edgewood's number 8, Kareem Wallace, who made that tackle.
I can remember old Bud Coakley back in the day when he was coaching here, will be telling his quarterbacks, look, when we're back up near that end zone, you don't be running in that end zone to get away from people. You be running at the 1 or the 2, and if they hit you, you stay at the 1 or the 2. You better not run back into that end zone and give up that safety.
Bob, I think it was number 8, Wallace, who made the block punt as well and made the tackle on the safety. Unofficially, I think he got credit for the block punt.
Wow, that's 2 great plays.
And that's, again, what you're looking for is great players making great plays. Timeout on the field. 5 minutes and 6 seconds left. You see the 2 coaches, Ken Brinkman on the right, Brian Hansrode on the left.
Don, I have to tell you, when I was coaching, I didn't even care if bad players made great plays. You know?
We'll take them.
Yeah, it was give me a great play. We'll be happy. You know.
Well, here we go, the Rams on the C. Milton right side of the field. Have the ball at the 35.
Let's see what Coach Brinkman has lined up on this play.
3rd down and 5.
C. Milton Wright's got like a 5-3, so they're expecting a run, I think.
Robinson back to throw, being rushed. Gets it away, it's going to be caught, but struggling now and still on his feet, taken down finally at the 31, short of the first down.
Yeah, they're going to go for it, though. That was the same play, the same inside screen that they ran for a big game earlier in the first quarter. And the Edgewood guys are telling Coach Brinkman, hey, let's go for it. We want to go for it.
I'm trying to pick up the number. Here's the replay. Looks like number 0.
27 was a
on the
22
tackle.
or 27. Right?
Yeah, that's Stanley made the tackle.
Yeah.
But the number 0 for Edgewood, and that's Maurice Butler who made that catch. It'll come up 4th down and about 1. Handoff, Harvin around. No, it's keeping Robinson. He's hit, and he gets the
He's got
first
the
down.
first
Stayed
down.
on his feet,
Plus-
and more. He could go.
Well, now he's got 6.
Robinson, Michael
Wow.
Robinson, hit at the line of scrimmage, goes over from 30 yards away. It's a touchdown, Edgewood.
That's the first time, Don, that the tacklers did not finish the tackle on the play. Now we have an injury, unfortunately.
Looks like one of
on
the Edgewood
field.
offensive linemen down, but here you'll see the replay. I mean, he is stopped dead. Nice fake. There he missed the tackle. There a missed tackle. Dead there in the line, breaks away, and then the speed takes over.
Oh, that was a block, too, coming back from a wide receiver.
Michael Robinson, the senior quarterback. That is his 11th rushing touchdown.
And that jumps it up to an 8-0 game now.
Happy to say the injured Ram looks like he's going to be able to get to his feet.
Yeah, it looks like an ankle injury, right ankle.
It might be London Lockett, number 52, the center. You see a
That's not a
helicopter
good thing.
flying over.
You never want to lose your center.
Yeah, especially he's a two-way player, is London Lockett, and a senior, one of your leaders.
Well, he looks like he's walking a little bit better now, so.
So a 30-yard burst right up the middle on 4th down. Probably looked like he was going to be stopped short of the first down.
Twice.
And yeah, and then he picks up not only the first down, somehow got out of that mess. I don't know how he did it. The brothers Robinson, Michael Robinson, the senior, 79 passes, 50 completions, 715 yards, and 9 TDs.
Here's the extra point try here.
Now he's got 11 TDs rushing. And here is the key extra point, making it a 2-score game. Blocked. So it stays at 8-0.
Yeah. I wonder what the analytics tell you on when you're up 9-0, whether you go for the. I guess you go for the 1 to make it 10.
Well, it's 8. So if you had gotten, if you gotten the 1 point, you'd have had 9. So
9. So I
you would have a 2-score
you'd have to think
game.
about going for the 2 to make it 10. But that's not.
And again,
Coach Brinkman knows his team much better than I know his team.
And if you're the Mustangs, you think about it. Hey, we could have had a touchdown on that fumble in the end zone. Ended up being a safety. Right. We could be down by 9-0.
I understand why he did it now, Don,
Yeah.
because, 8-0's a 1-score game.
Yep.
So if he kicks it to 9, now it's automatically a 2-score game.
Yeah, that was where I was going with that diatribe I was doing. And that is that, by 9-0, again, it is a 2-score game. Now you can score and get a 2-point conversion and be tied.
Yeah.
Well, there's still plenty of time. 4 minutes and 3 seconds, as you see, left in the first half.
And it's been a really good game. I mean, if you like defense.
It's a little squib kick coming down, being picked up at the 30-yard line. Good run back to about the 45.
Ball returned
Yeah.
Good job by 42, Dominic Nesty.
to the 42-yard line.
So the Mustangs have good field position now at the 42, their own 42. Still very much in the ball game, Bob.
Oh, it's a 1-score game, Don, as we just said. And, C. Milton's very, very capable. And Edgewood's still very, very capable. So,
But as you said, that safety led not only to the 2 points, but also gave Edgewood great field position.
Great field position.
They converted in the touchdown.
yeah.
Let's see what C. Milton Wright can do now to come back.
Mistakes really hurt.
With the ball, looking
Look
downfield,
at this.
Sable. That could be, he was bumped. I don't see a flag.
That was excellent coverage. I mean, he was a little bit behind, and all of a sudden he was running with them. That would have been he'd have had to make a perfect throw to complete that.
Looks like there's some kind of, the officials getting together. Kion Greenwood, the young man on the coverage. Let's see what the officials are going to say here. Mr. Brian Watson, the referee. Pass interference is the call. I didn't see the flag being thrown by the back judge.
Yeah,
I honestly did not see the flag being thrown. I was looking for the back judge maybe to throw it. It's going to cost them 10 yards.
It's going to cost them
15. Yeah, 15 on that play.
Yeah, that's
Down inside the 45 to the 41. Big penalty now gives the Mustangs a good start. Jack Sable, Ryan Stem behind him in the nickel formation. In motion, the case resets. Handoff. Tackle right as he hits the line of scrimmage.
also 3 on that.
Looked like Isaiah Deo, number 62, making that tackle. Clock rolling inside, 3:30 left in the half. The 8-0 lead for the Rams. They scored 2 points on a safety and 6 points on a touchdown by Robinson here in the second period.
So far, it seems like every time Edgewood's needed a defensive play, somebody stepped up for them.
Sable with the ball, throws, has a man, complete. Inside the 40 at the 35. Edgewood says it got the ball on a fumble, but I don't think they're going to say he was down. Catch made by number 44, Garrett Stemke. Officials again talking. Never a good sign when you see all those striped shirts together, Bob. They're cooking up something here. I'm talking as a coach. You're thinking this cannot be good.
Yeah.
Have no idea what. I didn't see a flag, so whether they're talking about did he actually catch the ball?
Well, is it a catch and a fumble? Is it a catch and he was down? Is it no catch?
Officials are talking it over. I don't think they're going to take a vote. Incomplete is the call, so they're going to say the ball came loose.
Yeah, he didn't hold it long enough when they threw it to him, so that brings up a serious.
Report to the field gates. Homecoming court to the field gate, please.
Second down.
No, it can't be second down.
They put the ball back
to the line of scrimmage.
Now it's third, but you'll see it's behind the line of scrimmage now. So the third and about 13.
It was 13. It was second and 13.
Yeah, now it's third and 13.
Yep.
Big third down play coming up for the Mustangs.
Edgewood's defensive line's a little confused here. Well, now they're set, so but not completely.
Long throw, looking for a man.
Intercepted?
Greenwood. No, I'm not sure. They're going to throw a flag. It does look like that Greenwood came down with the ball. Now let's see what the call is. Have an injured Mustang.
Injury on field.
Pass intended for Bubba Tolson. He's down on the field. Let's see what the call is, Bob. No, it's going to be
offensive pushing.
Yeah, pass interference against the offense. So that's a play that they can decline if Greenwood did come down with the ball.
Another big play by Edgewood. That's a huge interception. They have 2 minutes and 53 seconds left in the half. So they have the opportunity to move the football down the field too.
Bob, they put the ball down at the 42-yard line of the C. Milton Wright Mustangs. If it was an interception, of course, the ball would be down at the 10-yard line. So it looks like
well,
they
if it's an incompletion, then they put the ball back at the spotted line of scrimmage.
Well, they took the penalty, it appears, rather than taking the interception.
Okay, so then it's still C. Milton's ball.
I'm not sure. Let's let the officials straighten it out.
Well, if they take the penalty,
yeah, it should be fourth down then.
Yes.
So they got a choice, does Edgewood, of having a fourth and about 25 for C. Milton, or having the ball at the 12-yard line if they did intercept it.
Well,
all supposition on my part, Bob. If it's an interception, I'm going to take the ball no matter where it is, personally.
Well, they looked like they moved the ball back a heck of a lot further than 12 yards. They moved it back 15 yards.
Yep. And so it will be a third down, right? Yeah, because they wiped the play away. So it is third down, third and a bunch. So it will be the Mustangs' ball. Sable being rushed, gets rid of it. Going to be incomplete. Boy, that Edgewood rush. He had no time at all.
It looked like they were trying to set up a screen on the left-hand side, and Edgewood rushed so fast and so well with their hands up that he couldn't see them.
Wallace and Deo, 62 and number 8. And that will bring up 4th and long.
Yeah. Well, depending on this punt, if they get the ball anywhere above the 12-yard line, then, you know, it was great coaching on Coach Brinkman's part.
And the only thing I can figure is that Greenwood did not make that interception. His back was to us. It looked like he came down with the ball.
Yeah, well, obviously, you know.
Probably did not, the way it turned out. This time he does get away. Nice high punt. It'll come down and take a nice bounce for Milton Wright and go out of bounds at about the 15-yard line.
So they're putting it at the 18, so that's a 6-yard difference.
So the Rams will take over at their own 18 with 2:37 left in the first half, leading by 8-0.
Well, a couple big plays have turned this game a little bit around.
The block punt and the safety in the end zone. And then Michael Robinson. I mean, you just can't describe what an individual play that was by Robinson, Bob. To avoid the sack, which would have turned the ball over to Milton Wright, picked up the first down and then just kept on going. So here come the Rams now, trying to add on. Robinson. He's free, down the middle. Could he go? Michael Robinson at the 40. Still on his feet. He's going to go down. Let's
touchdown.
See. Did he give him a touch? Yes, touchdown. Wow. That ball from the 18, Bob, I'm not great at math, but that sounds like about an 82-yard touchdown run for Michael Robinson.
What did they say, Don? Speed kills.
Wow. Not only speed, but elusiveness. Watch how he breaks the line of scrimmage. He has people even with him, Bob. Just leaves them in the dust.
He cuts back on this one kid, and then he gets a block.
And goes in for the touchdown. Dives in for that touchdown. What a play by Michael Robinson. Making now 14-0. And the kick for the extra point is good. And
yes.
So now we have it 15-0.
Yes.
Touchdown coming at 2:22.
Wow.
2 big plays, Bob.
That's 3 now.
Yeah.
Shoot.
The block punt, the safety.
And the run.
And the 2 runs by Michael Robinson. So what had been a nip and tuck game for a period and a half now is suddenly Edgewood has broken up now with a 2-touchdown advantage over Milton Wright at 15-0.
And now we get the kickoff, and Milton gets a chance to advance this and maybe get good field position with 2-something left to, you know, maybe take it down and get some points.
Yeah, if you're Milton, you would certainly love to go into the halftime down only 1 score rather than 2. You've got a chance, but so far their offense has not been able to move the ball.
Edgewood's defense has played very, very well.
Here's the kickoff. Another squibber. Picked up on the bounce. Up to about the 40-yard line. Good return by Dominic Nesty. So relatively good field position for Milton Wright at their 40.
Question is, do you come out passing, and if there are 3 incompletions, you have to punt and there may be some time for Edgewood, or do you run the football and take some clock before you start throwing it?
Carmine Higgins, number 12, one of the flanker backs. Judd LeCase, number 8, sophomore. It's Higgins here to the near side. Handoff up the middle. Not a whole lot happening. That defensive line, Bob, and you said it, they have played a whale of a game for Edgewood.
I think if I were Edgewood, I'd be calling timeouts right here and trying to save some clock a little bit, because you never know.
Inside 2 minutes. Mustangs in no big hurry. You don't want to turn the ball back over. There you see referee Brian Watson keeping a close eye.
I think Coach Brinkman is very happy with this lead and just wants to keep the lead he has to go into the half.
Handoff. Gain of maybe 4.
And that clock's running.
Yeah, it looks like the Mustangs are satisfied, not satisfied, but content being down by those 2 scores. And they'll look to the second half.
I think since they've run the ball twice, I think they're going to run it again now.
Yeah, but it is 3rd down. So you wouldn't want to pass and have an incompletion stop the clock. 3rd down and about 7.
I say that he throws the football.
And has a completion out of bounds. That will stop the clock.
First down.
Yeah, across the 50-yard line.
That was a very safe throw.
Yeah.
Good throw, too.
Loudon Rockhill with the catch. Loudon had only 1 reception coming into this game. That was a big one. Clock stopped at 45 seconds, and now Milton Wright might, Bob, go ahead and try to throw the ball to see if they can come up with points.
I think it's time now, yes. Absolutely.
Looked like they were content to run the clock out until they got that first down in Edgewood territory. Back to throw. Sable now throwing low. They're going to say a catch.
That's what he's saying.
Is an incomplete pass.
That was Rockhill again.
I don't know why the clock stopped.
Because it's incomplete. Now they wiped it away.
Okay.
Yeah. It looked like the one official was saying, yeah, he caught it, but then they came in and said no.
The other one said no. But
and I think
the one official ran up showing he caught the football.
Here you'll see the replay. Yeah, it looked like the ball may have skipped in.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Yeah, the Edgewood player came up with the interception. It would have been had the ball not hit the ground. 2nd down and 10. Being rushed. Ball knocked down by the Edgewood. Boy, if I'm Sable, I have no time at all, Bob.
No,
I get the snap and I've got red shirts all over me.
Yeah, I'm thinking, well, I don't know what's going to happen right now, whether he's going to throw the football again and take a chance, or whether he's going to run the football and, eat that clock down to where they can get into halftime.
Yeah, because the clock stops with the incompletion at 31.5 seconds.
Yes, I am. And I'm proud to have a blanket on. It's cold. I don't like getting sick. I don't like being cold. I'm skinny.
Mustangs talking it over. Down by those 2 scores, the safety and the 2 touchdowns. 1 extra point. They're down 15-0 as you see. It was 0-0. First point scored, Bob, at 7:04 of the second half, or second period. There's a handoff.
Yeah, now they're just going to let the clock run.
Yep. If Edgewood would call a timeout. Looks like the Rams are content to let the clock run down.
Yeah, I think both teams are happy right now. Well, one's not happy, but they're happy to let the clock run down and get to halftime.
Yeah.
The other team, Edgewood, is just very happy.
15-0. Bob, and you've said it several times, it has been the Edgewood defense. Yeah, their offense, Robinson has been their offense, but that defense has just limited Milton. They've not been able to move the ball hardly at all.
Edgewood's defense has played very, very well. Milton Wright defense has played well.
Yep.
It's just that they gave up the safety, so that cost them 2, and then they,
and then the field position.
Field position at the 50 just gave Edgewood every opportunity that they wanted, so they got to the 8.
We are at half now, 15-0, the Edgewood High School win, trying to go to 7-0 on the year. It is homecoming here at Edgewood, so lots of festivities coming up at halftime. We'll take a break. We'll come back with the third period in just a moment. Well, we're back with you after the homecoming festivities at halftime at Edgewood High School. It's a very happy homecoming so far for the Rams, who have that 15-0 lead. Again, this game was scoreless, 0-0, all the way to the 7:09 mark of the second period when a safety was recorded. We're told that the safety was Butler, who made that safety, number 0, Maurice Butler, who made the tackle in the end zone, knocked the ball loose of the quarterback, Jack Sable. Luckily for C. Milton Wright, it rolled through the end zone for 2-0. Then the kickoff on the short field, the Edgewood Rams scored on a 30-yard run by Robinson, quarterback Michael Robinson, who went 30 yards, broke a tackle, which would have been a fourth down turnover. Instead, ended up being not only a first down, but a touchdown. And then on the very next possession, 82-yard run by Robinson, 15-0 to score on the point extra, and that's where we are, Bob. 2:22 left in the half. That's when they scored, made it 15-0. Michael Robinson, obviously the offensive star for Edgewood, but how about that Ram defense?
They've played great. I mean, to hold C. Milton right down to, to 0 points in the half. C. Milton can throw the football. They can run the football a bit. Their quarterback's pretty talented, but defensively, the front line of Edgewood has really stepped up and kept the pressure constantly in the C. Milton Wright backfield. And a couple times the Edgewood defenders early in the game got beat a couple times over the top. But since then, they've been running stride for stride with the C. Milton Wright receivers. And adjustments at halftime now become, who does what and what do they think, and what are the adjustments they make. And so it's going to be really interesting.
Bob, and we talked about 92-0 C. Milton Wright the last 2 games. Now again, they weren't playing Edgewood's defense, but 92 points in 2 games, 47 in one, 45 in another, holding the other team scoreless. And then they come here to Edgewood on homecoming night, and the Ram defense has just shut them down.
It really has, and I mean, I'm really surprised. That I know Edgewood's a good football team, and I know they play well on both sides of the ball, but I mean, they've really stepped up. Part of that, Don, again, goes back to coaching, because obviously the coaches spent a lot of time looking at film on C. Milton Wright, and they've made adjustments just as C. Milton Wright has made on Edgewood. And C. Milton Wright has done a good job, except for the mistakes, and that have led them to giving Edgewood, great field position, and then Michael Robinson, who's made 2 great runs.
Well, you made a good point. That block punt, yes, C. Milton Wright stopped them, but it put the Mustangs in deep formation or deep position back in near their own end zone, leading to the safety. So while the punt block didn't result in points, it did cause the safety, and then the safety directly related to that first touchdown, because Robinson goes 30 yards. And then it was all Michael Robinson, 82 yards. Bob, he cut through the defense first, but then he outran everybody, and then he made a cut and got a block and scored. So he did breaking a tackle, he did sprinting, he did cutting back, he did everything you want to in that 82-yard run.
He broke 2 tackles to get to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
And then when he got to the line of scrimmage, he started to take off, and then one guy was coming to stop him, and he kind of juked to the right, and a wide receiver came back and made the block for him, and then he was gone.
If you're Brian Hansroth, the C. Milton Wright coach, at halftime, you talked about adjustments, Bob. What do you tell your team? What do you need to do in the second half?
Well, you need to get better field position if you can, number one. And number two, you've got to stop you can't have a punt blocked. You can't have a safety. You just can't make those mistakes, because they're the things that led to touchdowns.
Yep.
And they're the reason it's 15-0.
This Edgewood team coming in 6-0, looking to go to 7-0. C. Milton Wright 5-1. Again, both leading their regions. 1 in 2A, C. Milton Wright, 1 in 3A, Edgewood. Edgewood 5th in the state in 3A, and C. Milton Wright 4th in the state in 2A. So 2 teams with great pedigrees. We hope to see a good game tonight. And Bob, for the first 2 periods, it has been everything it was advertised to be. And the Rams are for real. They're a team that has offense, yes, with Michael Robinson, and they have a great, great defense.
They really do. But there's a half to play.
Absolutely.
And there's 2 good teams on the field, so we're going to see the adjustments that are made and see if C. Milton can come back. And you know, if you score 92 points in 2 games, you think you can put some points in the end zone.
Yeah.
And, you know, Edgewood has done a fantastic. And I think Edgewood gets the ball first. Am I right? Here?
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they'll be kicking off. We'll see Milton Wright. So the Rams leading by 15-0. They will get the ball. Yeah, C. Milton had the ball first, 3 and out. And really, it was 3 and out for both teams until that safety occurred midway of the second period. So here we go now. Let's see what the Rams can do to maybe add on to that lead, or what C. Milton Wright can do to maybe get a turnover and get back in the ball game. And the kickoff. Boy, a nice kickoff toward the end zone. Received at about the 1-yard line. Cutting it back, and a nice run back. Still on his feet. Still running down that sideline. Big run there by Edgewood's number 13. And that is Shamari Whitmore, the senior, running it back from his goal line all the way out to about the 41-yard line.
Boy, that was a nice run. I thought he was tackled 3 times.
Well, you look at this Ram defense, this Ram team, you've got stars everywhere, Bob. People making plays offensively and defensively.
Well, you know, their line, I mean, even their offensive line has a bit of size.
Yeah.
And they're not heavy. I mean, they're built well positioned for the position they play.
Michael Robinson, the senior quarterback, handing it off. Harvin getting good yardage on first down up to the 50, pick up of about 8. Jaden Harvin, 390 yards on the year, 5.7 yards per carry, 3 touchdowns. Kind of the unsung hero of the Rams here tonight.
Yeah, they moved the ball back a yard.
To the 49, it'll be a second down and about 5. Robinson keeping the ball, sheds a tackle, sheds 2 tackles, across the 50, close to the first down.
Well, I thought C. Milton Wright did a nice job. They ran that, Edgewood ran that RPO, and C. Milton had players in both positions to stop the fullback or the halfback and to stop the quarterback, and they just didn't tackle him. He ran through them and gained a couple yards. So now it's third and
about a half yard.
Yeah,
maybe a foot. Michael Robinson, shifty, slippery, whatever adjective you want to use, he certainly is.
And he keeps his legs moving.
Yeah, not a big kid, like you said. He's
just a tough kid.
5'9", 160, 170 pounds maybe. Here he comes again. Got the first down and more. Down to the 42, 41-yard line.
They finally put a hit on him and drove him backwards.
Not until he picked up the first down.
Yeah, it's hard to see the C. Milton Wright numbers now.
Yeah. Tough running. I mean, you get Robinson, a kid who's not afraid to stick his nose in there, Bob. He's shifty, he's fast, but he can hit you too. Well, you gave credit to that line. Isaiah Deo, Jaleel Taylor, Landon Mockett, London Tyler, and Ole Imode. Tackle to tackle. Avoids a tackle, running, cuts it back, gets into the defensive backfield down to the 35-yard line.
Rouse keeps the ball, swims to the left. For about 6 yards. There's a flag on the play.
Flag down. Bob, I hate to make a comparison, but Lamar Jackson
holding defensive or offensively. Well, he pointed to the defense first, and then he switched arms.
Do that. I'm just saying that Lamar Jackson, with his shiftiness, certainly on a different level, but Robinson has that same kind of ability to cut on a dime, be going full speed and moving the other way. Not nearly the size, of course, and on a different level, but I'm impressed with Michael Robinson. Look at his stats, Bob. 491 yards rushing, 715 yards passing.
And they've played how many games?
They played 6.
6 games. So you're talking about almost 1,200 yards in 6 games. So he's putting up 200
a game.
Yeah,
Not bad.
No.
Yeah, I could live with that if I were the coach. Well, that's a big penalty. It takes it back inside the 50 to the 48.
It's one of the reasons they're 6-0. I mean,
first down and about 20 to go for the first down. Yeah, 6-0. We were talking to Ken Ewers and others, trying to remember when Edgewood was undefeated this late in the season. They were 9-2 the last 2 years, but not sure how long they were. Here's a run around that right side. Good burst.
Well, they picked up about 8 or 9 there.
Looks like Shamari Whitmore, number 13, with the run.
Yeah, 12.
Yeah, gets the penalty back and more. 5-play drive started at the 41 of Edgewood. Now at the 40. Second down, about 8.
Well, that puts them in really, this is doable now.
Yep.
They needed a big gain on first down, and they got it.
Whitmore in the backfield along with Harvin, flanking Robinson. Give to Whitmore. Dodges a couple tackles, gets down to the 38. Big down here, Bob, for C. Milton Wright. Can they stop him? Can they force the punt?
Well, it's a big down for Edgewood, too, because it's third down. And if they get the first down, that just keeps them moving down to the, toward the end zone. And, like you said, C. Milton has to stop them because they can't afford to give up any more points at this point.
It's not a hurry-up offense. They don't huddle. They get to the line of scrimmage. Everybody that you talked about being so well coached, they know exactly what they want to do.
Well, the quarterback determines everything in this offense, and he's really good.
Drayon Goldsboro in motion from near to far. Robinson gives it off right up the middle.
It's a first down. Big gain.
Harvin with the gain.
Gain of about 8 and Edgewood Rams first down.
Robinson rode him all the way into the line and then gave him the ball, realizing that he had the hole. So not only is Robinson fast, shifty, he's also very smart. First down and 10.
Now the question is the speed wearing down the physical team?
Here's the handoff coming to the near side. Harvin taken out of bounds inside the 20.
Before going out of bounds on the left side.
See where he spots this.
Second and 3.
Close to a first down. Looks like maybe a couple of yards short, maybe 3 yards short. Second down and 3.
Yeah, he really didn't gain much on that play, if any.
Second down and 3 yards to go. Edgewood Rams up by 15-0. We're early in the second half. Rams took the second half kickoff. Harvin gets the ball.
That's close to a first down. A little bit short.
Right back to Harvin with a gain of 2.
Looks like the tackle made by Cameron Stepp. Mustang down on the field. Going to be very close to the first down.
I've talked about C. Milton being a physical team and Edgewood being a team with speed,
yeah.
But up front, Edgewood's pretty physical themselves.
Yeah, you look at what do you need for a good team? You need speed, you need strength,
size,
you need smarts, and right now Edgewood shows me why they're 6-0. This is a team that really has it all in terms of offense, defense, smarts. Well coached.
2.5 quarters, and C. Milton really hasn't had an answer yet. They've had opportunities,
Yeah.
and when they didn't score when they had those opportunities in the first half. And then they gave up the safety and in field position, and they didn't stop Robinson on the runs.
Yep.
It's put them in a deep hole at this particular point. They've got to fight through this.
And they're 5-1. They've won 4 games in a row. The last 2 by 92-0. So we're talking about a quality team. So if you're the Rams of Edgewood on homecoming, Bob, now think about it. If you're going to plan your homecoming, do you pick a team that is 5-1 and very, very competitive? Not usually.
Well, I think unfortunately you pick a date, the only date that's available
Exactly.
that fits, you know.
But you'd like to have a team that you know you're going to win against. So you've got a big crowd here tonight, and they're watching Edgewood. To this point in the game, we have a long way to go.
Well, you said they scored 92 points against 2 teams.
Yeah.
So do you think that hurt them mentally, that they didn't play any competition? It was going to be quite like this, and it was so easy for them that they think it's just going to happen like that all the time?
Yeah, I don't know. I think Edgewood has just come out and like you said, Bob, it was a very close game for the first period and a half. And then that block punt seemed to turn things in Edgewood's direction, able to put the Mustangs deep in their own territory, ended up getting the safety, get a short field, get the run by Robinson, and then Michael Robinson, 82 yards. Come on. You know, that is what you call a backbreaker.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
But if you're the team in the first half, you know, you still understand if you're good, you've got the second half to play.
Matt Sampson up and off the field. Happy to see him being able to come off on his own power.
Everything I hear about him, he's a really positive young man.
Yep.
Excellent player, very smart young man. So, yeah, I'm glad to see him healthy.
Well, here come the Rams now, facing a 3rd down and about 1.
The spot is 3rd down from the 18-yard line.
Michael Robinson, the quarterback. Number 2. Harvin next to him. Obviously 4-down territory, but here comes Robinson. We don't need no stinking 4th down. 1st down by Robinson.
I mean, the nice thing about being back in that position is that as he starts forward, he can look and see where a hole's developing and run into the hole. And he's smart enough to do that.
And running with his head up, you know, knowing where the hole is.
You know, if you run with your head down, you can't find the hole.
Yep.
You know, you're looking at the worms on the ground. Run with your head up, that's when you find what you're looking for.
Edgewood up by 2 touchdowns, looking to go up by 3 here. Clock winding down in the 3rd period. You can hear the Edgewood faithful here fired up. I think the Ram in the uniform out there has them fired up by.
You think that's who it is?
I think it is, yeah. Here's a pass. Whitmore on the swing pass, still underway. That may have been a lateral. That ball almost was a backwards pass.
Didn't matter. He caught it and he ran.
Inside the 10-yard line, down to about the 5.
Pulls the Rams up to the 6-yard line.
Hadn't seen that play run yet by the Rams.
Well, this is a big set of downs for both teams. One's going to really go up by some good points if they score, and the other one is going to be down by some good points if the team scores.
Handoff, Harvin following his line. Boy, good blocks there by Deo and Taylor off that left side.
And he followed him and just kept his legs rolling, and
it'll be 1st and goal.
And it's a 1st down.
11-play drive started at the 41 after that nice run back by Edgewood to start the 2nd half. 11 plays. Well, they've gone about 7 minutes off the clock here in this 3rd period.
Yeah, they've had the ball the whole half.
Yep.
The whole quarter, rather. I'm seeing. Yeah, what is the whole?
I understood what you were saying.
Yeah, me
I
too.
wrote it down.
I stuttered it out.
1st down and goal.
Well, what a move that was.
Whitmore swings it right. Close to the touchdown.
What a move that. He faked that inside
And they're saying,
step.
Bob, a touchdown. That Florida official has his hands raised. They're going to say Whitmore is going to go over from 5 yards out. At 5 minutes and 13 seconds. Bob, I concur with your wow.
Yeah, it's.
How many athletes does one school have?
Yeah.
Looking now to add the extra point.
Well, the one thing I like about this Edgewood team is they're very disciplined, and the kids care. And you can see it play after play after play.
Gianni Venturi kind of wills that one through the goalpost, and it's good. And that'll make it 22-0 now for the Rams.
22, Mustangs 0.
And here you see the touchdown run. Bobby, you said Whitmore swung right. It looked like he was hemmed in.
Yeah.
And he put on a burst that sort of left everybody in the dust.
He took that left foot and he stepped to the inside like he was cutting to the inside, and everybody kind of stopped a little bit, and then he popped out to the right, turned around to the right, and popped to the outside. He was gone at that point.
Well, the Edgewood Rams,
good running,
coming in, Bob, at 6-0, and you look at their record and you say this is a really good team. Now I'm looking at them and say this is a really, really good team. This team is one that, again, you hate to get ahead of yourself, but a team that has postseason possibilities.
Well, it's hard to find a weakness.
Yeah.
I mean, now of course I don't know.
Here's another squib kick, fielded by the Mustangs. Looking for an opening, swung around, and finally taken off his feet back at the 35-yard line.
Well, I think that's if I want to talk about, you got to kick the ball deep. You got to get the ball down so you're not giving the ball up on the 35, 40-yard line every time if you can.
So you're like that coach who's looking for something negative on Monday morning to be able to say to his team, yeah, you won by such and such.
I'm looking at what is it going to take us to get better to get to that state tournament playoffs and find out, what we need to improve because we're going to really meet really good teams. Again, all the bad teams will be gone by that time.
Ball at the 35, Mustangs looking to get on the board. Hand off to Stemke. Fumble. Let's see who's got it. Edgewood says they have it.
I mean, if you're a 3A school, Don.
And wait a minute, Bob, they say Edgewood has the ball on the fumble recovery. So one play and the Mustangs turn it back over to Edgewood. You'll see the replay. Stemke into the line.
There it is on the ground.
Yeah, it looks like number 8, Kareem Wallace, who reached in with that hand and knocked it away. And the recovery by the Edgewood Rams. Bob, I'm sorry I interrupted you there. What were you going to say?
No, I was saying when you get to the state playoff levels, you're going to be playing teams from Montgomery County, Prince George's County, Southern Maryland, Western Maryland that play really good, consistent, precise football. And that's what Edgewood has played all night. But if you can't kick the ball deep and you give a team like that field position, that can be a weakness.
Bob, on the other hand, if you're C. Milton Wright, you just came off the field after being on the field defensively for 7 minutes. Now you're right back on the field.
Well, guess what?
Whitmore.
That's usually a bad combination.
Whitmore and Whitmore fumbles. Let's see, did the Mustangs get it? No. They're going to say Edgewood is able to retain possession. Starting this drive at their own, at the 38 of C. Milton Wright.
Again, if you're Edgewood at this particular point, all you want to be is consistent from, move the football, hold on to the football. You don't have to do anything fancy. You just have to do your job. C. Milton, on the other hand, has got to knock the ball loose or got to do something to get a turnover at this particular point.
And of course, the clock is the friend of the Edgewood Rams. Hand off Harvin. Bully. No, kept by Robinson. But he's going to be hit and held behind the line of scrimmage. Good job of the Mustangs.
It was an excellent job. And they had 5 guys chasing the football, all in good position.
Yeah,
so that was a great reaction.
And both runners, they had the running back hemmed up.
Yep.
Looks like Anthony Shelley, checking Michael Holcomb, number 9, with the tackle.
Michael Holcomb's had a pretty good game for them.
He has that. Holcomb, the defensive left end, headed for Temple University next year. There's the pass.
That'll make the people in my home city happy.
Flags go down. Flags from both back and front. Usually in a position where you see some kind of a hold.
Or illegal receiver downfield. I don't know which.
Holding is the call. It's going to wipe out the play and cost them 10.
Back the Rams up a little bit.
Brian Watson, the head official, the referee.
Band booster member. Scan their page. We're selling blankets. Never be cold at a football game.
By the way, Bob, we saw Kareem Wallace, number 8, leading the band at halftime.
How about that?
I'm telling you, not
How
only does he
about that?
play two ways on the offense and defense, but he leads the band at halftime.
Hey, he leads the defense, he leads the offense, he leads the bands. What else can you ask for?
Well, I understand he's the Riley Foundation nominee for the Edgewood.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Wow.
So not only is he a great player, but also a great human being. Chip Riley, one of the brothers, Bruce and Chip, talked to us before the game. That Riley Foundation does so much good work. Here's the handoff, Harvin. Sheds one tackle.
What do they do, Don, with all the money they raise? Give us some examples.
Well, they have 2 scholarships, one for EMT people, because Charlie Riley was big into
EMT, yes.
EMT. So they give a scholarship to one of the 11 EMT groups, fire companies in the county. And then they also give a scholarship to each of the 11 schools in the county. Similar to, as you know, the Sesky Foundation, which has been doing the same thing since, what, 1986?
Something, yeah, in that late 80s, early 90s.
Al Sesky, the late great Al, who passed away in 1985, and his players and people around him who loved him dearly set up the Sesky Foundation.
And they give 2 scholarships, one to a male and one to a female, every school in the county at the end of the year, and one female winner, grand winner, and one male grand winner. Fantastic organization.
It really is. And then, again, the memories of Charlie Riley, whom I knew really well. Charlie played softball for him way back in the day. Was just one of the greatest individuals who cared about people. He liked to quote the scriptures. He said, doers of the word. Meaning, it's easy enough to talk about it, but let's help our neighbor, and that's what he did.
Well, if Charlie coached you and put up with you so you're absolutely right.
Well, I sat the bench, basically, is what happened. Here's the punt. As the Mustangs do a nice job of stopping Edgewood, and they'll get the ball back. 2 minutes and 20 seconds and counting left here in this third period.
13-yard line.
Bob, and again, if you're Brian Hansrode, you've got to give your team credit that, yeah, you fumbled the ball away after being on the field for 7 minutes defensively, and then you hold them and you get the ball back to your offense.
Yes. I mean, you have 2 choices at this point. You either battle and fight the rest of the way and do the best job you can, or you slowly start to give up and really get hammered. And that's not C. Milton Wright. That is not C. Milton Wright. C. Milton Wright's going to fight, and they're going to play, and the coaching staff still believes they can win this football game.
Sable on the short pass on the out, that to Bubba Tolson. Short gain of a couple.
Mustangs gained 5 yards on that first pass play.
Drive starting here on the 12.
7 out of bounds.
Gain of about 4 out to the 17. The clock stopped at 2:21. Jack Sable going all the way at quarterback, all by himself in the backfield, being rushed.
Yeah.
Gets it off. Complete. Still on his feet.
Not only complete, but
down to the 50, and finally out of bounds. Great catch and run. Almost taking it all the way. That was
he had a player downfield who, if he turns around and blocks the guy instead of waving him down and blocks the only one guy who could tackle him, he might have gone all the way. Watch what I'm talking about.
Here's the replay. Nice turn, nice catch.
Here we go. Now watch. Now there's one of his teammates is waving him down right there instead of turning and blocking. If he blocks that guy, he might go all the way.
Landon Melnick with the catch and the run.
Man, when your guy catches the football, you try to find something to hit.
Sable running. And out of bounds he goes at about close to the first down at the 35. Well, Bob, if you were, and I know you weren't, but if we were concerned about C. Milton Wright saying, okay, we've lost this game, right now you have your answer.
I wasn't concerned about that because their program's too good to fold, and I was just waiting for them to start to do the things that they're very good at.
You need a touchdown here. You need to get back in the game.
Yep.
You're down by 3 scores.
If you can score before this quarter is over, then you only need 2 scores in the 4th quarter and hold the other team without a score to win.
Sable looking long. Battle for the ball. Intercepted. Intercepted on that far side.
That's a long way to throw the football.
Looks like Kion Greenwood, number 1, making that interception. No, now let's correct that. They're saying it's number 9, Adrian Wright. Yeah, number 9, Adrian Wright. Bob, that pressure that Edgewood had got right in his face. He couldn't step up and throw the ball.
No. And the Edgewood defender just stepped right in front of him and played it like he was the wide receiver.
So the interception will stop the drive deep in Edgewood's
and unfortunately,
territory.
that's something that C. Milton Wright couldn't afford.
Yeah,
You know, you're moving the football, you get an opportunity, and
but credit that defensive line of Edgewood. They were so much in the face of Sable. He couldn't step and throw and just sort of lobbed the ball out there. Here's a handoff. Harbin.
yeah, it's easy for me to say sometimes you need to learn when to eat the ball, but when you're competing and you're a competitor, you're doing what you think you have to do to win. And it's tough.
And it was a great job defensively by Wright. Looked like number 1 to me, but the announcer is saying it's number 9, who got in front of that pass, didn't let the receiver get to the ball, and made the interception. So the Rams taking over at their own 8-yard line. Harbin again up the middle, close to the first down. Clock stopped as they reset the down markers for the 1st and 10 for the Rams.
And it started again now, as it should once that second chain is down, put down.
Inside a minute left in the 3rd.
And Edgewood's going to take as much time as it possibly can before they run a play. Because as you said before, you know, the clock is their friend now.
Robinson
He handed it off.
to Harbin.
Yep. That's a decent gain there.
Yep. Clock continuing to roll down inside 30 seconds. It'll be close to the end of the 3rd period by the time they snap it again.
Ball on the 22, 2nd and 6.
Michael Robinson. Bob, I'm impressed.
Yeah. Like Michael Robinson who played at Penn State, huh?
Yeah. This Michael Robinson headed for Merrimack. I don't know a lot about Merrimack. Do you?
Well, it's a school up in New England.
That's
It's
the end of the 3rd period, so they do not snap it again. We'll go to the 4th period. A school in New England.
Yeah, it's a lower, I believe, Division I school.
Bob, there you see my Ram here. I'm just impressed with the Ram outfit.
Yeah, you and that Ram.
Yeah, he's back in our day when we were in school. We didn't have a mascot like that, did we? No. There you see Brian Hansrow talking to his team. Yeah, saying, hey, look, guys, we've got 12 minutes to play. We can either lay down and give up, or we can hustle out and see if we can somehow pull a miracle and get this game won, or at least get back in the game. 5-1, the C. Milton Wright Mustangs. Last year they were 5-4. They've already equaled the number of wins they had last year, and of course wanting to add to it. They've come in here on homecoming night at Edgewood, facing the 6-0 Edgewood Rams, and the Rams have really shown us why they are 6-0, Bob, why they are a team to be reckoned with.
All right, Don, Merrimack. Right now they're the Merrimack Warriors. Right now they're 3-4, and this week they play at Harvard Stadium against the Crimson Tide of Harvard.
Come on.
And they played in the league with University of Maine, Colgate. They play in that great Patriot, play a lot of the Patriot League teams. They're an independent, I guess, New Haven, Merrimack, Sacred Heart, all New England teams up there.
Well,
And
Michael Robinson will be a Warrior. He's a Ram now and will be a Warrior.
yes,
I think he's already a Warrior, personally, but
you know, when I was a sophomore at South Philadelphia High School, my colors were red and black, and I was a Ram. And then I moved to Edgewood High School, or I'm sorry, red and black, and I was a Ram. I moved to Edgewood High School, and my colors were red and black, and I was a Ram.
there you go. So you moved 300 miles, 70 miles, didn't change your colors.
Didn't change my colors.
There you go.
I was very comfortable with red and black.
And of course, back in the day, we would say red and white. Now, when did black become one of the colors of Edgewood High School?
You know, some coach snuck it in there at some point.
Ah.
And
Dolores Simmons, who was one of the great teachers in the early days, campaigned for rose red and turquoise blue.
oh, I remember the one JV uniform that Edgewood had that it was red and white, and somebody washed them, and they turned to pink. Washed. And they came out for the next game in pink and white. They weren't very good that game.
I remember Bugs Grafton, who was the first football coach at Edgewood, said, "Can you imagine my players running around in rose red and turquoise blue?" So they painted the doors, if you remember, in the old school.
Yeah.
On one side, there was rose red
Red.
and turquoise blue on the other side. Dolores Simmons, who is a Hall of Fame member, she took the Edgewood High School girls teams and made them a powerhouse back in the 50s and 60s.
And kept every boy in the school away from all of them, every
Right.
opportunity she had.
Dolores Simmons, yeah, we were all scared to death of Dolores Simmons. 10 minutes and 38 seconds left. Punting are the Rams, getting it off. Fair catch made at the 45-yard line of Edgewood. Tell you a bit more about Dolores Simmons. She made, that is, sewed the Edgewood High School uniforms.
Nice.
The first uniforms they had.
You mean for the
She-
young
For
ladies?
the ladies, yeah. She got together a group of ladies and they sewed the uniforms. She drove the cars that took the girls from place to place. She was just extraordinary back in the day.
And she yelled at me every time I got near the girls' locker room to talk to one of the girls.
Yep.
And said, "Get out of here, boy."
Yep,
I said, okay.
Dolores Simmons. Here come the Mustangs. Let's see, trying to put something on the board. Almost broken on it. Woo,
You know,
within a step of
he
going
missed
all
that.
the way.
He missed that pass non-defensively because he hesitated. The defender, he hesitated 1/2 a second, and then he broke on the ball, and he got a piece of it. But as soon as he saw it, if he'd have broke, would have been 6.
Kion Greenwood, the young man who broke
He's
on that
played
ball.
well, too,
He certainly
tonight.
has. I mean, you look at up and down this lineup from Adrian Wright to Khalil Bryce to Isaiah Deo. Just pick a number, and they've all played well for the
Yeah.
Edgewood Rams.
And when you hold C. Milton Wright to 0 points into the fourth quarter, you've got something to be proud of and something to brag about.
Second down and 10.
Ooh.
Long pass has
He's
a man.
open.
Oh, off the
Oh.
fingertips. Boy, what a throw by Sable. He's being hit and throws the ball without being able to step forward and gets it right off the fingertips of the receiver. What a
Yeah.
throw.
It really was an almost very good throw under real pressure.
And he's been under pressure the entire night. We
Yeah.
talked about that interception, Bob, when he threw it up in the air, only because we got a flag now being picked up. Let's see what that's all about. Here's the replay. You'll see. Now watch how he's being rushed. There's a hold there.
Yeah, that's what you're going to call.
And just so off the fingertips of Tolson. So the good news if you're the Mustangs was the play wouldn't have counted anyhow, if that's good news.
At 22-0, they're looking for real good news.
Here come the Rams again. Sable.
He's open.
As a man just overthrows him. I'm really impressed with Sable's arm.
Yeah.
Loudon Rockhill, the young man running down
I'm
the
sure
field.
he'd like to have a few of those throws back.
That time he finally had a little bit of time to throw the ball.
Yeah, just overthrew it again a little bit. That's tough when you throw deep passes. They're not all going to be complete. You really have to have a special touch. Like the first long pass he threw in the first quarter was beautiful, right in the guy's hand and completely in stride.
But since then, he's been under such pressure that he hasn't had time really to release the ball. Here he is all by himself, 3rd down and 10.
Edgewood's rushing 6. Here they come.
Throws the ball, and he had to get rid of it. The receiver had not yet made his turn.
Pass over the middle, incomplete.
Well, Edgewood sent the 2 middle linebackers right up the A gaps, and boom, they were right in his face with their hands up.
Khalil Bryce, Jarrell Tyler.
So now it's 4th down.
Maurice Butler.
And there's no sense in punting this football, so I would be shocked they don't go for it. And there's no question they're going for it.
Well, it's 3rd and 20.
Is it 3rd? Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, the penalty.
It said 4th.
Yeah, the penalty pulled that one down away. 3rd down and 20. They've got to get all the way up to the 35-yard line of Edgewood.
Replay 3rd down.
I get the feeling even if it is 4th, when they're moving the football now.
Yeah, I don't know what this penalty was. I didn't see. That came well after the play. Was it roughing the passer?
40-yard line with 5 to go.
I don't know about roughing the passer. I mean,
I didn't see the signal, but it had to be some sort of a roughing penalty or a personal foul.
All I can tell you is the guy that hit the quarterback really did not hit the quarterback. He just came down with both arms on his shoulders, but he didn't hit him.
So it's, instead of being 3rd down and 20, it's 3rd down and 5 now. Big break for the Mustangs.
That's a huge penalty.
Running, Sable, hit from behind, fumbles. Did Edgewood get it?
He was running with the ball out.
Ball's not free.
Looks like the Mustangs are able to recover it. No, they say it's Edgewood ball. The Edgewood Rams come up with the fumble recovery.
The fumble is recovered by the Rams.
At the 41-yard line. Here you'll see it.
It's the 1st and 10 from the 40.
Sable struggling for the yardage.
Injury on the field. Timeout.
Oh, the ball was hit.
Yeah, young
knocked
man
out
just
of his hands.
reached his hand, and it looked like it might have been Landon Lockett, number 52.
Well, we'll see if he turns. He's standing over him now, and we could get him to turn, but
Turn around so we can get you.
Yeah.
I think it was Lockett. And we've got an Edgewood player down. Lockett went off the field, if you remember, back in the first half, injured.
I can't see that far. I can't see that number.
No, I can't either. Timeout on the field, injury on the field, 9 minutes and 50 seconds left in the game. Well, it's bad enough the Mustangs have been stopped defensively, but every time they've gotten something started, there's been a bad break, something that Edgewood has done to stop them.
Which number is that, Don?
Looks like
Is it
53?
57,
maybe.
57? Okay.
I'm sorry, I can't see all the way across the
Yeah,
field.
me either. It's, you know, it might have something to do with age, Don.
There is no 57 on my roster, so we'll assume it's not number 57.
Then it's either 52 or 53. All right, Edgewood's got 9:50 left in the game, and they're going to pound this ball on offense now. Try to run as much of this clock off and get down as far as they can, hopefully for them a touchdown.
And Bob, defensively, I mean, you want to have a shutout. You don't want to give the other team a chance to score.
No.
Especially on homecoming night. You think about, I mean, I go back to our days going back, what, 10, 15 years when we were in high school? Oh, okay, 20 or 30. And you can remember senior nights and homecomings and things like that. This is a night that the Edgewood community will remember for a long time when C. Milton came in, a really, really good team, and you just took it to them defensively and offensively.
You know, there's a lot of people who live in this community who have come out and supported Edgewood High School football for years.
Yep. Larry Noel, whom we saw before the game started. Pass is complete.
Uh-oh.
Down that sideline, he could go. And he is gone. That's Kion Greenwood with the touchdown pass of, let's see, that would be 60 yards touchdown pass from Robinson to number 1, Kion Greenwood.
I'm thinking down it's the helmets. With the ram on the helmets. It's the first time I've seen a ram on an Edgewood helmet.
It has a good look. There you'll see the replay. Just a pass in the flat. Good blocking out
and
there.
then speed kills.
And there he goes. And while you're away, the kick for the extra point is good. And that'll make it 29-0 now. So the pass
I don't think anybody ever expected this score.
Robinson to Greenwood. No, especially when you're midway of the second period and it's 0-0.
Yeah.
If I had told you at that point it's going to be 29-0, either Edgewood or C. Milton, right? You'd say, Don, you're sipping too much of that tea again.
You know, and you're thinking it's the 7th game of the season, so the teams are who they are. They're not. It's not the beginning of the year, and you're not sure who they are.
Yeah. Well, it's a long way to go. This is only the 7th game of the year for Edgewood, but I would say the Rams are making a statement tonight.
I mean, in Harford County football, you know, what are there 3 teams at that level? Edgewood, C. Milton Wright, and Perryville.
Yeah, and Perryville is already has lost to Edgewood.
Right.
Okay, and Edgewood, this will be their 4th win in the division.
But they also beat C. Milton, so.
Yep. Yeah, they were 2-0 or 3-0 coming in their division. Yeah, they were 3-0 in their division coming in.
So who's leading? Yeah, I was wondering who was leading the other division, the other Harford County.
And I'm not sure about that, Bob. I can't give you a good statement on it, but these 2 teams are in the same division tidings. Now, if you're C. Milton Wright, if you have the 2nd best record in the Upback among the 3 divisions and don't win the tidings, you're still in the playoffs for the Upback. They choose the team with the best record who did not win one of the 3 divisions.
And that's how you get to 4 teams.
Exactly.
Right.
So you're thinking maybe someday Edgewood would play C. Milton Wright again.
Possibly.
Yeah, for the championship. Long way to go before that happens, of course.
How does that interfere with state playoffs, too?
It doesn't. They have 9 games in the regular season, so that'll be the 10th game.
Okay. And
Sable.
11th.
Sable ready to throw. Looking and does get rid of it.
He caught it, right?
Yeah, I think so. Looks like right about the 50-yard line. No, there's a flag down.
And it's an incomplete pass.
But a flag down, don't know who it's against, but it was right there where he released the pass.
Boy, we started a few plays ago at 9 minutes and 50 seconds, and it feels like forever.
Yeah.
And it's 9 minutes and 13 seconds.
Let's see what I think the penalty is going against C. Milton Wright. And it's a 10-yard penalty. Actually a 15-yard penalty, so I didn't see the referee's signal, but it was a big one. So if it isn't tough enough, now you're facing a 1st and 25. Whistle blowing. But you're right, the pace of the game seems to have slowed quite a bit. Inside 9 minutes now left in the game. Edgewood 29-0. Game was 0-0 with 7 minutes to go in the 2nd period. Sable almost intercepted.
Nice defensive play there.
Was.
Number 8.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's Kareem Wallace, who plays defensive end, Bob,
Yeah.
back in coverage.
And leads the band at halftime.
Leads the, yeah, I was impressed. And not only did he lead the band, but if you saw him, I mean, he is into it
Yeah.
with his full football uniform on. What a young man. As we said, the Riley nominee for Edgewood High School. Bob, as you well know, with the Sesky, that includes scholarship, attitude, leadership, all those things.
All those positive things that a young man has to have to win that award.
Sable, again under pressure, unable to step forward. You notice, Bob, he can't even put that left foot down and throw. He's got to throw it off his back foot. Ola Imode, Isaiah Deo, Landon Lockett, Kareem Wallace. Those are the front 4 for the Rams. Maurice Butler, Khalil Bryce, Jarrell Tyler, the linebackers. They have had pressure on Sable all night long. If you're wondering about running clock, that would occur if you're up by 35-0 in the second half. So the clock is stopped at 8:35. Back to throw, Sable. Throws it up. Almost caught. Not sure who was intending to. Had 2 wide receivers back there. Unable to pull it in.
Yeah, number 7 makes the play for Edgewood.
Yep. That would be Kareem Gillespie. We haven't called that number yet. You'll see this replay. Under pressure, he just sort of throws it up. Wobbly pass. Almost caught by Judd LeCase. Well, it's 4th down and a bunch. They're going to punt the ball away for the Mustangs. High kick. Come down. It's going to take a bounce. Picked up by the Rams. Holding on for dear life and making the tackle. That was Garrett Stemke, who had a hold of the punt or the kick returner and wouldn't let go.
I'm really impressed with Kareem Wallace. I mean, play as much as he's played tonight. Played it really effectively. Led the band at halftime. I think about the historically black colleges and universities in the United States, and who have great bands down, through all of them. Be a great place for one of those schools. Would be a great place for him to matriculate to and add to their greatness.
I think he's got one of those futures that, here's a play that's Harvin. Bob, that you can almost name his future, and that's what you get when you do what you're supposed to do in high school. You get the best out of what you have, and then the world opens up to you. And you and I as teachers, that's what we strove to see, that kids would maximize their potential and be the best person they could be. And that's what we're seeing here from this Edgewood High School team.
Well, they've maximized their potential tonight because they've played outstanding from the beginning.
Here's Harvin.
And we know how tough it can be in this area, and the kids here. Coach Brinkman is thrilled to be at Edgewood High School.
Yeah.
And he's thrilled to be around these young men.
He started back at Edgewood High School in 1994. Okay, then he went to North Harford, then he went to John Carroll, then he came back to Edgewood, and this year he took over as head coach. What a journey it's been. 31 years he's been doing this? And he still looks young, Bob. I was talking to him before the game, and I said, where's Ken?
Yeah.
I'm Ken. I said, oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, I walked past him when they told me go over there and talk to Coach Brinkman because I thought he was, the last time I saw him, I thought he was 3 inches taller. and he just laughed at me.
And his son is the long snapper for the Houston Texans, by the way, in the NFL. I think he went to Maryland, I think. Or where did he go?
Yeah, he did. He went to Maryland.
As a long snapper,
Yep.
and now is doing the long snapping in the NFL.
Yeah.
What an athlete he was. He played at John Carroll basketball and football.
Ball, yes.
Big kid, about what, 6'7"?
You know, he takes after both his mother and his father.
Yeah. Lefty. Loved watching him play. Saw him from the time he was like 6 or 7 years old, sort of tagging around after his mom and dad.
Yeah. I mean, both his mom and dad were both great athletes. So,
Mom, All-American at Towson as a volleyball player.
and a really fine lady. One of the Harford County schools, great people. She's done so many good things in the Harford County Public Schools, as has Coach Brinkman. I mean, so
talking about Deb Bosler, who is the in the Hall of Fame here at Edgewood as a former teacher, athletic director, now runs the entire show for the county as the county's athletic director. I can't think of a person better at the job than what she does in terms of handling it with grace.
She was great athletic director at Edgewood High School.
Oh, yeah. Five minutes and 20 seconds and counting left in the game. Robinson.
You know, the other thing I want to bring up, Don, tonight at this point, talking with Coach Brinkman, you know, one of the things that he is really thankful for is the administration at Edgewood High School. He says they have been so supportive and so helpful with the players and his football program.
And Bob, adding that, Brian Hansroth said the exact same thing. He teaches social studies here at Edgewood, and they allow him to coach C. Milton Wright. So not every principal, not every school will allow that.
Yeah.
And I asked Brian, how do you handle that? And he said, fine. The kids, give him a lot of, shall we say, good-natured
stick. They give him everything.
Yeah. But they love him, he's a.
It also says a lot about him being a teacher.
Yeah.
And what he does in the classroom.
And he came into teaching late. He was obviously not a teacher to begin with, and that was his second profession for him. So he's just done a wonderful job as a teacher and coach.
Well, one of the things I was trying to say, Don, was that Coach Brinkman, the principal, Ms. McMichael, and the assistant principals have done a fantastic job of helping him with the players, trying to do three things. They want them to be better people, they want them to be better students, and they work on their making them better athletes every day. But they also want them to be better students and better people every day.
Robinson with the run. Yeah, Josh Klimmer, who is here tonight, one of the assistant principals. He's the chief liaison to the Hall of Fame program at Edgewood. And again, he's one of those guys that you just want to be around him because he's so positive.
Yeah.
And we do want to thank
that doesn't happen in all.
No.
Sometimes you fight the administration in some schools, and the schools where the administration really works with you and helps, it makes it such a fantastic experience.
Here's a handoff. And a fumble recovered by C. Milton Wright. That's Stem who's making that recovery. And so the Mustangs said, hey, we're not going to go away easily
Well,
here.
they won't quit. That's they're going to play to the final whistle.
And Bob, while we're giving credit, Sarah Friedman, the athletic director here at Edgewood, give her a lot of credit to watch this recovery. Sort of takes it out of midair.
Was on his hip, and he couldn't pull it in.
Ryan Stem was able to recover it. We came and talked to her earlier this afternoon. She was setting up, and she said, I really don't have time to talk to you. I'm a little too busy. I said, you're right. I'll step aside. She was putting up cones and all the work that an athletic director has to do.
Yes.
But her accommodations for us here tonight to allow us to use the press box, and it's just been very commendable.
And she's been around a while as now as an athletic director. She was the boys, when I first met her, she was the boys' assistant basketball coach.
Yep.
And then she became the head coach for a bit. And then I think she gave all that up to be the athletic director when that opened up. And it's been a good experience.
3 minutes and 14 seconds left in the game. 29-0 as you see. It's been all Edgewood Rams after the second period when they scored that safety. And then the floodgates kind of came open. Wow, what a hit.
Deo. That's what they're yelling. Deo.
Yep, that's Isaiah Deo, number 62. That's maybe your worst nightmare when you get the ball and you get number 62 right in your grill.
Well, when you look up and there's a big opposing jersey standing in front of you waiting, it's not fun.
4 sacks, 4 tackles for loss coming into the game. Handoff. Taken down, very little gain. You can hear the fans still cheering, the band still playing.
I haven't heard that cheer for years.
Would you like to demonstrate the cheer?
No.
No.
They're yelling, I believe. And then they start yelling, I believe that we will win. I believe that we will win. Eventually. That's what it gets to.
The band, our whole booth here, there you see the band.
When you're up 29 with 1:55 left, I believe they will win.
Evan Sheets, the band director, so impressed with everything here, the hospitality, the cheerleaders, and especially the Ram, the costumed Ram. Here's a handoff. Clock running down to 1:32.
And they have a great alumni association here, Don. You can't forget them.
Exactly. Yep. Karen Carey, who is the president of the Alumni Association.
And the Hall of Fame people.
Back in 2011, when then Principal Lisa Santos agreed to let the Alumni Association begin the Hall of Fame program, and now in its 15th year, I think we've inducted about 90 people now. Not only former alumni, but also teachers, principals, community people.
And Don was president for how many years, Don? You did such an incredible job.
Well, you said that just like I wrote it for you here. You said it with kind of sincerity in your voice. Yeah, it was our pleasure to begin the Hall of Fame program along with the principal and the Athletic Association. Back in 2010, the school opened, Bob, the new school in 2010.
Yes. Beautiful school now.
Oh, it is. And, the thing about this school is it is so well taken care of. If you walk the halls, you would say this school must be brand new.
Give the custodial staff here all the credit in the world, because this school is clean.
And the kids, they take care of their school. They like their school.
They have so much pride in it.
Yeah. 40 seconds. And there you hear the fans yelling, Edgewood. It's so good to see pride in your school. And now the final seconds are ticking down. Not sure that we'll see another play here.
Don't need to.
As the players are leading the cheers. I like it. Well, what a night for the Edgewood Rams, winning by a final score of 29-0. See Milton Wright losing their second game of the year.
What a shock this is.
Yeah, their 4-game winning streak now at an end, and Edgewood now at 7 wins and no losses, 7-0.
And here's the hardest thing to do when you get beat 29-0. There's the line up and shake hands.
There you see Ken Brinkman. He's going to make sure that his young men are showing respect to the team they just played.
And the other teams lined up to show their respect.
Yeah. Bob McCone, this has been an outstanding night. It's just been homecoming here at Edgewood. and they could not have put on a better show, the Edgewood Rams.
You know, it was a really good football game at times, and it was kind of shocking with some, some of the mistakes. I want to give the officials some credit. You know, mostly we didn't notice them tonight.
Yeah,
I mean, there were a few big calls that you have to make in the game, and they made the calls, and I didn't see anybody upset, about those calls, and everything went well. So it's a good night of football in Harford County.
Bob, let's do a quick recap. The block of the punt that occurred late in the first period could have sort of set up the things in motion that resulted in the safety, made it 2-0, a short kick, Robinson's long run, and then Robinson's really long run at the end of the half, 15-0 at the end of the half. They scored 2 more touchdowns in the second half to win it, going away at 29-0. The Edgewood Rams are now 7-0, the 5-2 C. Milton Wright Mustangs. Bob McCone, it has been a pleasure.
Don, Robinson, 2 plays, 132 yards.
Michael Robinson,
2 touchdowns.
The quarterback. Well, we thank you for tuning in. Hope you've enjoyed it. The Edgewood Rams winning again by, you see that final score, 29-0. Tune in all season long for Harford County High School sports on HarfordTV. I'm Don Morrison for my partner, Bob McCone. Good night, everyone.